Hey everyone, how's it going? I'm David Horowitz, CEO and co-founder of Retrium, right back at you with yet another quick tip on how to make your Agile retrospectives super effective and easy. Today I want to focus in on something that comes up all the time about how to engage your team members in the retrospective process. And it all has to do with the first 30 seconds of your retrospective and how critically important those 30 seconds are to the success of the overall meeting. To understand why the 30 seconds are so critical, let's take a step back and talk a little bit about meetings that you're a part of. In particular, meetings that bore you to death, the ones you dread going to. What do those meetings look like? Usually they don't capture your attention when they start. They may have in the last 15 minutes some engaging, some useful outcomes that are coming out of the meeting. But if the first 10 minutes, the first 5 minutes, the first minute doesn't capture your attention, you very well, I know I've done it, might just look off into space and forget about the rest of the meeting and think about what you're having for dinner that night. Retrospectives are no different. So the first 30 seconds are absolutely critical to ensure that your team is engaged in the remainder of the retrospective. So what are some ideas? What are some ways that we can increase people's attention in the first 30 seconds of your retrospective? So think about when the last time you've been at a conference. Maybe it was a developers conference, maybe it was the Agile conference, maybe it was the global Scrum gathering, whatever it was. Think about the best presentations that you experienced at that conference. And then compare them in your mind to the worst, the ones that didn't interest you at all and you ended up using your phone the entire time you were at that presentation. What was the biggest difference? Almost certainly, the first 30 seconds of the good presentations drew you in. Maybe there's a funny anecdote, a self-deprecating story, maybe there's a joke, maybe there's something really interesting, some really interesting fact that the presenter shared with you in those first 30 seconds, and it drew you in. In contrast, the worst presentations you've been a part of, probably the guy started out saying, "Hi, this is my name, here's 10 reasons why I am supposed to be talking to you today based on my job experience." Nobody cares, right? Nobody cares, and you check out mentally. So how does that relate to retrospectives? Retrospectives are not a presentation. They are very different. They are bottom-up opportunities to think, bottom-up opportunities to brainstorm, bottom-up opportunities to figure out ways we can improve as a team. But nevertheless, the first 30 seconds are absolutely critical to make sure that your team is engaged in the process. So what are some practical ways of making sure that happens? All right, number one way, the way that I like to do it the most, is people enter the room. Ask them to write down just one word, describing how are they feeling about the previous sprint, the previous 2-week period of time. From that one word, first of all, you have automatic engagement. One word people will write down, they have no problem with it. Second, it gets people's brains thinking. It gets them moving. Their mind starts functioning, thinking, okay, how am I feeling about this? They might write down things like angry. They might write things down like frustrated, sad. Or alternatively, they might write things down like thrilled, pumped, ready to go. Whatever the words might be, not only does it get your team members engaged in the process right away, it also helps you as a facilitator get the sense of what are the emotions here in this room today. That can help you plan out the rest of the retrospective. What's another way to get people really engaged in the first 30 seconds? One fantastic way is ask people to write down the name of a movie character that represents how they're feeling today about their work. So they might write something down like Darth Vader, right? Where maybe we turn to the dark side, right? And so all of a sudden, what that tells you as a facilitator is this person feels like things were going well and boom, now they're not, right? Maybe instead they write something like Harry Potter, right? So I felt like I was very junior on the team a while ago, didn't know what was going on, and then the world opened to me, right? Whatever character they write down, it gets people laughing, it gets people interested, and it also gives you an interesting idea of the context of the team and how they're feeling for the retrospective. I could go on and on with different ways to open retrospectives, but I'll stop there and just leave you with one last point, which is don't jump right into, okay, everyone, welcome to the retrospective. This time we're going to be doing start, stop, continue, and I want everyone to start writing down their ideas onto the board. That might be interesting for 1 or 2 times. It won't be interesting after 5, 10 times. Start mixing things up, start getting people engaged in just those first 30 seconds, and I promise you, if you nail those 30 seconds, the engagement levels for the remainder of the retrospectives will be significantly better than they would have been had you jumped right to the heart, the meat of the retrospective process. Thanks for listening, everyone. Again, I'm David Horowitz, CEO and co-founder of Retrium. We make a solution that helps you run better retrospectives, especially if you work in a big enterprise or if you work on a distributed team. You really need some tool to help you facilitate your retrospective process. Come check us out or ping me, david@retrium.com. Happy to talk about it. Have a good one, everyone.